Hello Year 5, this is Mrs. Keenan. I hope you're all well at home. I hope you're all okay. I've made a little video here to talk you through one of the maths lessons that you're going to be doing on My Maths over the next couple of weeks, which is to do with imperial measures. Now, imperial measures are how we used to measure things in the UK quite a few years ago now. Nowadays we use something called metric measure, which is what they use across Europe as well. But you'll still find there's lots of things in the UK that we still use imperial measures for, like if we talk about miles per hour, 50 miles per hour on a road, that's an imperial measure. Or if we talk about a pint of milk, that's an imperial measure. So it's important that we still know how to convert between imperial and metric measures. Now, the ones that you'll be looking at in My Maths are miles to kilometres and inches to centimetres, which is to do with measurement, and then pounds to kilograms and ounces to grams, which are to do with weight and mass, and then gallons or pints to litres, which are to do with capacity. Now, the good thing is when you see a question about conversion, there will always be a clue to help you work it out. So for example, it might say that 1 inch equals 2.5 centimetres, and the question might say how many centimetres are there in 5 inches. Now, if we know that 1 inch is 2.5 centimetres, we know that 5 inches is 5 times that amount. So we just have to multiply both sides by 5. The one that gets a bit more complicated is miles to kilometres, because the fact that they will give you in a question is this. They will say 5 miles is worth about 8 kilometres. Okay, now if it says how many kilometres are there in 15 miles, this is nice and straightforward, because we can see to get from 5 to 15, all we've done is times by 3. So that means all we need to do to this side is make it 3 times bigger, times it by 3 as well. 8 times 3 would be 24 kilometres. So we know that 15 miles will be 24 kilometres. It gets a little bit trickier if you got a question that asked you for a slightly less straightforward conversion. So again, I'm going to put up here 5 miles equals 8 kilometres. But what if the question asked you how many kilometres there are in 4 miles? Now, the easiest thing to do is to break this question down and think, okay, could I work out how many kilometres are in 1 mile? Now, I know that 5 miles equals 8 kilometres. If I want to get down to 1 mile, I'm making this 5 times smaller. I'm dividing it by 5. So if I've divided this side by 5, I've also got to make this side 5 times smaller. I've got to divide that by 5. This is our bus stop method. Okay, 8 divided by 5. Okay, how many times does 5 go into 8? Once, put your decimal points and your 0. What's left over? 3. How many times does 5 go into 30? 6. So we know that 1 mile equals 1.6 kilometres. But look, I don't want to work out 1 mile, I want to work out 4 miles. Now, if I know 1 mile, 4 miles is going to be 4 times bigger than that. So if I've made this side 4 times bigger, I'm going to need to make this side 4 times bigger. 1.6 times 4. Now remember, when we multiply a decimal, we can look at how many digits are after the decimal point. We're going to have the same amount of digits after the decimal point in the answer, and then we can just take out that decimal point and do a normal multiplication. So we can do 16 times 4, and we're going to put the decimal point back in at the end. Now 6 times 4 is 24. 1 times 4 is 4. Add that 2 is 6. I know that there is 1 digit after the decimal point in the question, so I have to have 1 digit after the decimal point in the answer. So 1.6 times 4 is 6.4. So 4 miles equals 6.4 kilometres. Okay, remember, whatever you do to one side, you've got to do to the other side. What about if it was the other way around? What I mean by that is if I was converting kilometres to miles. I'm going to write the same fact that I did at the beginning, just the other way around. So rather than 5 miles equals 8 kilometres, I'm just going to write it as 8 kilometres equals 5 miles. Now, if it says that, let me just have a check, just got my little screen here. What about if it said, how many miles are there in 10 kilometres? I'd be looking to do exactly the same thing. I'd be looking to work out what 1 kilometre equals. Now, to get from 8 kilometres to 1 kilometre, I'm making that number 8 times smaller. I'm dividing it by 8. So if I've divided that side by 8, I've got to divide this side by 8. 5 divided by 8, bus stop. 8 into 5 doesn't go. Put a 0, put your decimal points and your 0. 8 into 50. Now the closest we can get is 48, which is 6 times 8. So I'm going to put my 6 up here, I put my 0, carry my 2. 8 into 20 would be 2. It would keep going. Okay, we'll go a bit further. Now, I want this answer to be approximate. I don't want an answer with lots of numbers after the decimal point. So I'm going to say that 5 divided by 8 is approximately 0.6. Okay, so 1 kilometre is approximately 0.6 miles. Now, if I want to know what 10 kilometres is, I've got 1 kilometre, which is 0.6 miles. I need to know 10 kilometres, which is going to be 10 times bigger. So then we just make this number 10 times bigger. So 0.6 times 10, we know is 6 miles. So 10 kilometres is about 6 miles. Now I've got a question for you that my little helper is going to bring in. So I'm just going to go get him. Just wait a second. Little helper! Little helper! Can you come here? Right, come here, little helper. Right, you're going to say hello to all the children?
Hello.
Hello, this is Harry.
It's
So Harry has a question for you. Let's show it to you. Okay. Now this is the question that he has for you. Okay. If John needs to run 12 miles in training, but his pedometer only measures in kilometres, how far does he need to run in kilometres? Now see if you can work out that question at home using the information we just looked at. And I've got another bit of a fun challenge for you as well, making pancakes. Do you like pancakes? Harry likes pancakes. So this is a recipe for pancakes, and it's written in Imperial Measures. So it says 4 ounces of flour, 1 egg, and half a pint of milk. Yeah? Now this is the conversion. 1 ounce is 30 grams, and 1 pint is about 570 millilitres of milk. See if you can make these pancakes at home, if you have the ingredients.
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Not yet. Wait until after the lesson, and then you can mix up all the ingredients, pour them into a pan. Mix. Wait until it bubbles, and then flip it over, and then you've got pancakes. Right. Good luck. We'll make another video soon. Bye-bye, year 5.
Yeah.
Can I say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.